Okay, so welcome to the second module of this HRD course. You remember in the first module, we basically talked about why HRD is required, what are the various functions, how HRD professionals work, what kind of activities they do, okay, and then finally we discuss about the HRD model process, which is to be followed later on. Now, in this module, basically we are going to talk about how HRD has developed as a discipline within the context of human resource management, not only in India, but elsewhere. So, we will look into the development or evolution of human resource perspective from the global perspective to start with. Then we will try to see that yes, since we have been advocating that yes, HR should be related to performance. So, how we can link it, and we will also talk about that how we can integrate HRD activity with the business objectives or the goals of the objectives. So, that HRD programs are going to be more and more successful. So, to start with the first session, basically we are going to provide you some theoretical foundations of human resource development. When I am talking about theoretical foundations here, we have to see what kind of theories are used or the kind of input that have come from different kind of disciplines. So, the major disciplines which have been used here is economics, psychology and systems theories. These are the three important fields of theories which have provided their input in the first session, that is theoretical foundations of human resource development. Now, that is what we are going to discuss in detail. Now, if you look at the theoretical foundations, here we have to see that what are the theories which have contributed to the development of the field of human resource development as a separate discipline. As I told you that three major important factors which have emerged here is include what you call psychological theories, okay, economic theories and systems theories. Now, if you look at it, these psychological theories, economic theories and systems theories have come from where? Psychological theories has come from the learner's perspective. Economic theories has come from the organizational perspectives, because they are going to invest money, so they want to see the return on the investment in any HRD program. And the systems theory has come from where? The systems theory has come from again the kind of structure, system and processes that organizations has. So, all these theories have come from these three different fields which we are going to discuss. Now, if you look at how these three theories are integrated to devise and develop a model, you can see here that yes, the development of HRD theories comes from three different disciplines, that is economics, systems approach and what you call the psychological perspectives. So, what we are going to discuss here in detail is that how these theories have contributed to the growth and development of human resource development as a discipline, so that it could be related with the performance at different levels. If you remember, we have been talking about performance at different levels. We are concerned about the individual performance, we are also concerned about the organizational performance, and similarly we are also concerned about the process improvement. So, the idea is that any HRD program must improve the performance of the individual, must improve processes and must also improve the organization in terms of performance, productivity and these kind of things. Now, if you look at this theoretical model which suggests that the discipline has emerged from three things, that is economics, psychology and system. So, we need to see that how they are going to contribute to HRD theory, right. So, we will take up one by one and see that in what way they have been able to contribute to HRD theory, so that use these inputs to see that how we are going to design and develop a program to ensure the growth and development of the people, systems and processes, right. So, we are moving further and looking at each one of them separately. So, what we need to do is at the first stage, we are not going to treat them in isolation, they need to be integrated. It means the input from all these has to be integrated into one framework, and another important thing that you have to look at it here is the ethics. What does it mean? It means that when you are going to develop any kind of program using these models or frameworks, you are going to see that morally, and ethically it is correct, in both in the case of organization, processes or individuals. Why this ethical behavior or ethical approach is added to each one of them is to ensure that you are not going to violate certain norms, principles, so that when we are going to do it, it is always good in the sense that you are always right, because ethics talk about being things which is proper, right, and right. So, when we are going to use these kind of ethical perspective in organizational context, and since we are concerned with the learning of the individuals, so you need to follow an ethical approach in the learning also. That is why these ethics have been added here. Now, when we are going to talk about these theoretical foundations and basically three different areas which have the areas of theories which contribute, let us see one by one that how they are going to contribute. So, we start with one by one. So, what these theories suggest basically, if you look at them, say psychological theories, which is basically concerned with human behavior. So, what it captures? The core human aspects of how people can be developed, okay, and how people as a system or the human behavior and the technical system are going to interact and relate with each other, right. So, if you look at psychological theory, it is basically dealing with people and their behavior, because psychology is basically concerned with people and with their behavior. So, organizational performance is a result of human behavior, right, and when we are talking about human behavior or performance as a result of his attitude, interest, motives, emotions, which is a part of what you call the individual behavior. Okay. So, we must look into the psychological aspects, right, that how these psychological aspects related to the individual in terms of their learning attitude, interest, personality, motivation, these things are going to interact with the system, that is an organizational system, to produce an effective result. Moving to the next part, that is the economic theory. What economic theory suggests is the core issues of the efficient and effective utilization of resources, because this is the organizational perspective and psychological theory is basically the learner's perspective. So, when we are going to talk about the economic theory, it basically talks about return on investments, that is the basic approach. So, if they are going to invest on human resource development, they want to see that there is an effective utilization of the people, they are going to be more productive. So, they perform well, so that organization gains profit and remain competitive. Because organization is concerned with performance and productivity, so they want to develop people, so that they could be effectively utilized for better performance. Okay. So, that is what we call the economic perspective. Moving to the third part, that is systems perspective, and here system perspective basically is related to the processes which is adopted by the organization. It could be related to the environment in which the people work, the internal climate, culture of the organizations, the processes through which people work, okay, or the operating systems. So, everything related to the organization which is supposed to help and facilitate is called the system. So, the kind of system that you are going to use comes here. So, what we are going to take up here is that in very brief, not in a detail, we are going to discuss about the various aspects related to psychological theory, economic theory and systems theory, to ensure that how it contributes to see that HRD develops as a discipline and field. Now, we will take up one by one. So, we start with the economic theory proposition. What economic theory suggests? So, there are three important things that we have taken up here is scarce resource theory, sustainable resource and human capital. We start with the bottom one, human capital. Okay. Human capital theory means that any organization which is going to invest human resources to improve their knowledge and skill base expects people to add value to the organization. Okay. So, the idea is here is that human resource development, any activity that you are going to design and intervene on the name of human resource development must add value to the organization. So, if they, and for that they are going to invest in your development, whether it is related to your knowledge or skill or whatever it is, and they want to ensure that this kind of investment bring good results, not only in the short term, but also long term. So, if you look at human capital theory, it suggests that yes, HRD is a value addition process. Investment made by the organization on the knowledge and skill of the people must bring good results in terms of more productivity, more profit. Now, moving further to the next one, that is sustainable resource. What do you mean by sustainable resource? It means the HRD must add value to creating sustainable economic performance, not just one time. Okay. What I mean to say here is that if you are going, organization is going to invest money on a regular basis to offer design and develop program, then they have to see that yes, people are going to perform well on a regular basis. Okay. Now, since the resource that an organization has is limited, and out of this resource certain resources are allocated to the HRD activities. So, whenever HRD is going to offer any kind of program for improving the knowledge and skill base, it has to justify. They must convince the management that in what way it is going to add value to the system. Now, I am coming from bottom to top to bottom again. First, when you are going to design and develop a program, in economic perspective, you must assure that yes, it is convincing to go for this kind of program, because it is going to help the organization to bring good results, not only once, but it is going to add value on a continuous basis. So, it is going to be sustainable, okay. And ultimately you should be able to prove that yes, investment in human resource development activities has brought good results for the individual in terms of their growth and also for the growth of the organization. Now, so this is the economic perspective. Moving from economic perspective to psychological perspective or psychological theories. Here we are talking about different kind of psychological theories which have contributed to the development of human resource development. Now, three major proponents here are Gestalt approach, behavioral psychology and cognitive psychology. Okay. Now, if you look at the Gestalt approach, Gestalt is a word which comes from which is basically a German word. Gestalt means that perception of things in a whole or as a whole, you can say, right. So, when we are going to use Gestalt perspective, the idea is that you should be visualize as a whole that how HRD is going to contribute to the individual performance, group performance or the work processes and the organization. So, it does not mean that okay, HRD is going to contribute only to the individual, and how individual activities are linked with processes and organization. So, it is something like this. Gestalt, I am talking about the first point, that is Gestalt. Gestalt means the perception of whole. As a integrated activity, as integration. Let me give a very small example to explain what Gestalt means. Say, if I am going to draw a line like this, how are you going to perceive it? You are going to perceive it as a circle. Suppose if I am going to draw a line like this, these are all dotted lines and you can perceive them as a triangle. What you do? Basically, you are try to integrate everything and then you are going to perceive it as a whole. So, when I am talking about the Gestalt perspective, we are not only concerned with individual only, but we are also concerned with work processes, we are also concerned with the organization and in its integration of the totality. So, when we are talking about the Gestalt perspective, is that if you are using Gestalt perspective to explain HRD activities, then you must ensure that in totality or as a whole how HRD is going to contribute to everyone, individual, work processes and organizations, right. Moving to the next part, that is the behavioral psychology. Behavioral psychology basically talks about the behavior which is observable. Okay. Now, when we are talking about observable behavior, you have to see that how HRD is going to develop the knowledge and skill base at different levels. What I mean to say is that you must have very critical explicit set of behaviors which you can say that this is related to the knowledge skill at different levels. Okay. So, if you look at behavior, behavior is defined as what? Something that a person does. Now, a person or an individual in an organization performs certain activities which you call behavior. Now, this behavior is going to be influenced by a number of factors, okay, and you want to change this behavior and you want to improve this behavior so that he performs the same things in a different way, in a better way. So, he is more productive. So, the idea is that when HRD is going to develop the knowledge and expertise of the people, there should be significant change in the behavior and it must be observable, that that yes, this is the kind of improvement that has been made at the individual level, at the process level and the organizational level. Okay. Now, moving to the next part, that is the cognitive psychology part. Cognitive psychology is related to what? It is basically related to the mind of the people, mindset of the people. And when I am talking about cognition, it refers to what? Cognition means perception. Okay. This basically comes under cognitive psychology, and the four major areas which comes under cognitive psychology is related to these things, that how you learn, how you remember something, how you perceive certain things and how you think. Now, these learning, perception, memory and thinking, these are the four important cornerstones of what you call cognitive psychology. So, when we are talking about cognitive psychology, you have to see that an individual in an organizational context, and when we are talking about human resource development, how he is going to learn. So, what principles of learning is going to be applied? Okay. And the most often principle, that is behaviorism, are the what you call the principles of what you call reinforcement is applied. If you want a person to learn better, so you provide some kind of reinforcement. Reinforcement is also used to improve and modify your behavior. Okay. Reinforcement is used to ensure that you are going to make a desirable behavior which is required by the organization. So, when I am talking about these kind of psychological theory and especially cognitive part, we have to see and ensure that when you are going to design and develop a program, what are the reinforcement that an individual to an individual, so that he is motivated enough to perform well. Okay. Why should he modify his behavior? So, there must be some kind of reinforcement for behavior modification. Then another issue that is very, very important, learning. When you are going to deliver a program, okay, whether people are really able to retain the knowledge and skill which is required or not. Okay. Third part, perception, how they are going to perceive everything. Okay. Because any information that you are going to present them, they are going to look at it and they are going to see whether it is going to be useful or not, whether they should be able to make use of it or not. So, these principles of cognitive psychology are applied. And finally, you have thinking. When I am talking about thinking is what? Thinking is that once you get the information, you are going to process it. So, this information processing approach of thinking basically allows you to introspect and evaluate information that is presented to you, to ensure whether you will be able to make use of it or not. So, when you are going to design and develop a program, this cognitive framework must be kept in mind, and that is why we are discussing it here. Okay. So, moving to the next part, that and look at how psychological theories are going to contribute, the Gestalt. So, the focus is on the entire perception. So, you are going to have a very holistic view of organizations and individuals. Now, behaviorism, how environment is going to affect behavior, that is what I have been talking about. how reward and motivation systems are going to influence your behavior, and how you are going to be motivated to achieve certain goals and objectives, provided you have a mechanism of reward and motivation. And cognitive means that how you are going to process certain information, how you evaluate it, because human processing human processing of information is going to help you to design the instructions, so that people are able to comprehend and understand it, okay, and they are able to make use of their experiences on the job. So, these three perspectives of psychology is very, very important. So, when it comes to HRD. Now, coming to the systems perspective. Systems perspective is basically you know that organization is supposed to be called a system, an organizational system, okay, and it is called an open system. Open system is something where you have input, and then you go for processes of these input, and then you have an output. This leads to output. This is a open system approach of the organization. Now, when we are going to talk about this open system approach of the organization, you have to see that this input is what? Input is what is being fed to the people, how they are going to process it and what they learn, right, in terms of HRD. Now, this approach of systems approach have been taken from the general systems theory, and that you can see that yes, any HRD system must understand how these subsystems are connected or disconnected with the entire organization. Now, HRD is also a system, and this HRD system is basically integrated with other systems in the organization. There may be marketing, maybe finance, maybe say R&D, and other systems are there. So, you must see that this HRD system is integrated with other systems, because any systems cannot be acting in isolation, right, and there has to be coordination and integration among the various systems of the organization, and organization as such is a nice one. Okay. So, if you are looking only at the HRD as a system, you have to see that how it contributes, what processes are adopted, and what is the output. In that way, you can also look at it. So, HRD input is what? The program that you have, how it is delivered, and what is output in terms of learning. That is one way to look at it. Now, in organizational perspective, you have to say that HRD is a system, is a part of the input, like any other input, right. How people work to improve the performance, that is another way to look at it. Okay. Now, any program that is to be designed as in the name of the HRD must look into the systems perspective, that is very, very important. Now, chaos theory. What is chaos theory? Chaos theory says that people are going to work in an environment which is going to be very, very uncertain, which is chaotic, which is unpredictable, right. So, basically it talks about what you call an environment which is unpredictable, which is chaotic, which is uncertain, right. And there could be a number of factors which is going to make this environment either chaotic, uncertain, and unpredictable, and these could be economic factors, this could be technical factors, this could be political, social factors, cultural factors. Okay. So, there could be a number of factors which are going to contribute to the environment to make it uncertain, chaotic, and unpredictable, right. So, this provides a context for a HRD program, so that you are going to prepare people to face the challenges. So, the role of the HRD here is to develop the competencies, so that you are able to understand the environment in a better way and cope up with the challenge of the organization, right. So, and the organization become effective, and that is what chaos theory suggests. Okay. And then at the same time, the futures theory says that yes, it must help the organization to decide its future. So, depending upon the kind of environment in which you are going to operate, you are going to decide what you are going to do. So, based on that analysis, if people are trained well and have the competencies, they will be able to design and develop strategies for the future of the organization. Okay. So, this what we have discussed so far is three major theories and in what way they have contributed to the growth and development of the HRD as a field. Okay. And then we coming to the finally this human capital theory, which basically again takes a human resource approach. It is already explained here. So, you have resources, okay, inputs that is used for providing training, and then you have certain outcomes, right, outcomes in terms of learning, right. Then this learning is used again as a input, because whatever you have learned, you are going to make use of it to improve your behavior and performance. Okay. And whatever you have learned, you are going to use it in certain processes to again provide certain inputs in terms of efficiency, effectiveness, quality, improvement of what it is, and there is a vicious cycle that goes on. Okay. So, this is a cycle basically which goes on. So, again you learn certain things, again you apply that. So, you in the process what happens? You learn more on a regular basis and you perform better. Organization also improves its capability to perform well. Okay. And organizations what happens in the process regularly keep on investing on education and training to get better outcomes. So, on the one hand, see, you have individual outcomes leading to organizational outcomes. Okay. This is the result of learning. Okay. So, it is something like this. So, it is a vicious circle that goes on a regular basis. Okay. And what is the role of the organization is here? Investment, right. So, if you are going to make investment in learning, individual outcomes will be better, organizational outcomes will be better. Then people will again use this, okay, to improve their outcomes. So, it is a continuous cycle that goes on, and that is what human capital theory suggests, that yes, investment in people is on a continuous basis should be productive enough for both the individual and the organization. Okay. So, basically they adopt a return on investment in human capital approach. Okay. So, moving from this, I think that is all. Thank you very much. That is what I actually wanted to explain when it comes to identifying various theories and how they have contributed to the growth and development of human resource development as a discipline. And here we have discussed three major perspectives, that is the organizational perspective and also the learner's perspective, and accordingly we have identified two major theories related to economics and psychology that they have contributed, and finally we have talked about the systems and human capital approach. Thank you very much.